In this video, let's take a deeper look at the Property Management Process Improvement Toolkit. The toolkit is designed to answer a common question that many of our clients have. How can I scale my portfolio without adding more cost and creating more work for myself? The answer to that question is you've got to create systems. You need to have repeatable processes, and you need to have a well-trained team. You need to use metrics and targets and conduct regular reviews of your performance. Most importantly, you've got to build up to a continuous improvement culture where mistakes are allowed, with an emphasis on learning from mistakes and getting better and better. If this resonates with you, let's take a deeper look at the Process Improvement Toolkit. The toolkit consists of several modules: the Process Catalog, the Cost of Quality Calculator, also called the Defect Workbook, a list of process metrics, and a template for creating an action plan and communicating your roadmap. The toolkit is customizable. You get editable documents that you can add, delete, and modify. You also get 2 hours of consulting to help you get familiar with the toolkit, to get help using the toolkit, and to apply it to your situation. The toolkit is based on our property management process model, which essentially looks at your property management business as a series of interconnected processes. For example, the process of converting leads to leases, tenant care, collecting rent, and ultimately planning for the end of the lease and turning over the unit for the next tenant. Under each of these processes are defined activities, and the toolkit enables you to add and subtract detail so that you can customize it to the way you run your company. Our philosophy for process improvement is based on the concept of throughput. Since processes are interconnected, we focus on identifying where the bottlenecks are and focus on releasing those bottlenecks so that the downstream processes can be optimized. For this reason, we use the Defect Workbook to identify what can go wrong and what can reduce the throughput in each of these processes. Let's take a closer look at each of the modules. The first module is the Process Catalog. Each of the boxes in the diagram is shown as a major heading, and under each one are different activities. For example, for lead management, you receive a lead, you make the initial contact, you show the unit, and record activities in your CRM system. Going further, for example, for unit turnover, you create the turnover plan, estimate the COS, approve the budget, and so on. These are examples of activities that are pre-populated in the workbook. In addition, we've got columns to identify who's responsible and for you to rate the value of each of these processes and the importance for building your brand. Determining business value, how complex it is, and how much time and effort is needed will require you to become really good at these activities. The second module is the Defect Worksheet. We also call it the Cost of Quality Calculator. Here you'll recognize the same processes that are in the diagram, but for each process we've identified different types of incidents. Typically, these are things that can go wrong. For example, during the application process, applications could have been entered with missing data. Applications might not have been followed up on, or the lease signing got delayed due to incomplete documentation. These are examples of things that can go wrong. Under tenant care, slow response to service requests, delays in closing service tickets, and performing unnecessary work could be costing you. These are examples of defects in the workbook. We use the workbook to quantify how often something happens and what it's costing you. Use this information to come to an agreement with your team to prioritize the importance of resolving these issues. If you know something happens a lot, it's costing you money, and is potentially tarnishing your brand, then it needs to get a higher priority for resolution. The next module is the Process Metrics Workbook. These are metrics for each process that you can use to measure how effective they are. For example, under unit turnover, number of units being turned, over average days for turnover, amount charged for damages, number of turnovers that are on budget, the number of turnovers that are on time, and so on. As with every other module, you can add, edit, or delete items to fit your business. Ultimately, all improvements need to be measured, and this is the starting point for defining what those metrics are. Once you've gone through the process of identifying the important processes, identifying what goes wrong and what needs to be fixed, and what needs to be measured so that you can make sure the improvements are working, we can finally go to the action plan. We offer you a template for you to communicate your goals to your team and to get everyone on the same page. We identify the processes that are high priority, what improvement goals you've set, where you are today, where you want to be, and who the executive sponsor is. This creates accountability and a commitment to actually take actions on the things that you've identified. If you find that you and your team are constantly putting out fires, this is one way to step forward and recognize the problems and commit to making changes to get you from where you are today to where you want to be. These are just examples of what's available in the toolkit. The toolkit will save you hours of time, plus it will give you a framework that is applicable to your business so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. The Property Management Process Improvement Toolkit is available for purchase for only $500. Feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email if you have any questions.